In July of 2023, I did something that I never thought I would ever do. I went to auction and I bid on 3 separate residential blocks of flats, and I was successful on all 3 of them. I was on the phone doing it from Cape Town, even though the auction was here in Johannesburg.
Third and final chance. Is that your bid? 2.1 million sold.
2.1, but that is a steal, bro.
It was a nerve-wracking, exciting, fun, crazy experience. There was even a building that I didn't view before the auction, which I don't recommend. That's super risky, but it worked out well. We bought it for 2.1 million. This property we bought for 1.6 million. So we bought this property for 900,000 Rand, and no, that's not a typo. That was the purchase price. You know, the story around this auction is that I had actually gotten a whole bunch of private investors together. We had about 5.5 million to play with, and we went to go and work on this commercial deal. And we'd been negotiating that deal for a good 9-12 months. It seemed like everything was going well. We had a countersigned OTP, and then out of nowhere, the seller backed out. And my investors, who had already been quite patient with me, giving me a couple months to try and negotiate this deal, were starting to get cold feet. And they were saying, you know, we need to deploy our capital. We can't keep waiting for a deal to happen. And they essentially said to me, you know, you've got 2 weeks, put something together. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna have to go somewhere else. Because of that, I decided to go to auction. It was the first time I'd ever looked at an auction website. And a week before the auction, I flew down to Johannesburg. I came and viewed Villa Erica, Ravensview, and Ann Court. I viewed all the buildings that we were interested in, and did some high-level numbers, tried to look into every unit that I could, try to do as much due diligence as possible. But within a couple of days, I didn't have that much time. I couldn't do my usual getting an inspector in, check the structural integrity. So there was an element of risk. We're outside here at Ravensview, 10 times 2 bedrooms. This is a mixed-use residential apartment. So you've got residential units, you've got a spaza shop. All of the units look in great condition.
Gents, ladies, I'll tell you what, just on this income, the property's got to be worth 4 million Rand at 2.1 million Rand. Third and final chance. Is that your bid? 2.1 million sold.
We bought it for 2.1 million, though the valuation is sitting more around 3 million. On an average month, this property will generate 45,000 in rental income, giving a nearly 26% gross yield. The net profit after all expenses, including finance and tax, will be 14,500, giving a 19% internal rate of return. So here we're inside the mini market. And what's really nice is that they've been here for over 5 years and they've got an established clientele.